uh, we will. You have any question from yesterday class? Then we can take that, and then we'll move. I want to discuss something of the in the fourth chapter itself. But first, if you have any questions to ask, anyone of you have, you can raise your hand. Then we'll. Okay. No way. Fine. Okay. Thank you. So now we were discussing yesterday about the last part that we were talking about the Atma Ramasya Muniyo Nigrahanta Piyukrame Kurvanti Hetukim Bhaktim Ittam Bhuto Manohari. So that verse talks about Atma Ramas. Uh, so actually devotees, we have also read that devotee doesn't look for these five kinds of liberations. Surely Sayujya, so they don't look for it at all. Sayuja is the impersonalism, merging into the Brahman. But even the other four also, actually, they are not against the devotional practice, but pure devotees actually reject that also, rejects that also. So one may say, why he rejects it? See, uh, no, there are four types. Among the five, there are four types of the four are personal liberations, and one is impersonal liberation. So it's been said that Salokya, Saristi, Samipya, Sarupya, although they are not against the ideals of bhakti, but devotees were solely attached to Krishna. They because Krishna is so attractive, is so loving that the sweetness of the love that is there in the bhakti of Krishna, that a devotee never accepts these kinds of even for personal liberations also. That kind of intense prema is there. So and also it's been said that a devotee even actually goes to Arjun sir, if you have a question.
Yeah, I can ask it after you finish with this one.
Okay, okay. So uh, it's been said that even if a devotee who have attained these four kinds of liberation and might have gone to Vaikuntha. From there also, from there also, if he can develop affection for Krishna and go to Golok Vrindavan because Krishna is so attractive. And we talked about Gopkumar yesterday. So, although it may look a bit contradictory to you that although these four types are not contradictory to bhakti, uh, but why the devotee actually doesn't looks for pure devotee? Why they don't look for these four also? They say no to that also. So there is a reason. Uh, because these four types of person liberations are categorized into uh, you know you can say there are two varieties of also personal liberation. One variety of personal liberation is seva sukha aishwari uttara. Sukha means I mean to say the four Salokya, Sarishti, Samipya, and Sarupya can be gained out because of two attitudes. One attitude is Sukha Aishwarya Uttara. Second attitude is Prema Seva Uttara. So Sukha Aishwarya Uttara means predominance. The predominance of the desire for happiness and opulence can be there in the bhakti, and that is how a person can get it, can get these four kinds of liberation also. He has bhakti for surely, but has a predominance of predominated by the desires for getting sukha and aishwarya. Whereas somebody can acquire these four also because of prema seva uttara, where in which the predominance of desire for Prema Seva is there. Uh, but these, but still, the devotee, pure devotees who are pure devotee means, in terms of Krishna, they don't accept even Prema Seva Uttara. Why? Somebody may say, because uh, because even in Prema Seva Uttara, has been said, there is a small tinge of little desire of Sukha and Aishwarya is there. Little. What this little means, we can't fathom at this stage right now. It's a very little. So devotees do not desire even that, and therefore they reject even Prema Sevottara, Mukti too. So for pure devotees, or those four types of liberations, the Saloka Sarasti Saloka Sarasti Samipya Sarupya, are achieved as secondary, but they don't want that. This means to enter into Golok Vrindavan, no, the criteria is very similar, is very clear. Not a little desire for Sukha, own Sukha, and Aishwarya should be there. Yeah. So because that's true, that kind of, because if we have a little, surely Vaikuntha is also very high for us. We are in Kuntha right now. Vaikuntha is also very high. But Vaikuntha, you know, then if we have a little of inclination of Sukha and Aishwarya, Atma Indriya Priti Vancha, thoda bhi hai, you know, uh, even Sukha in gaining Sukh, in giving Sukh to the Lord, even if somebody has that desire also, Sukha, then Vaikuntha, a person may land up in Vaikuntha. So this whole now after understanding this much, actually, now actually I told you the last, then yesterday I will show you the gradation of happiness. Now I'll show you Najeev Goswami from Taittiriya Upanishad. Actually, you know mm, he quotes the levels of happiness. So over here, it has been quoted. Okay, I'll move into presentation. Presentation mode is on for you all right now.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Uh-huh. Okay. So when Maharaj Parikshit actually inquires from Sukdev Goswami, and he's saying that, why, what kind of devotees are these? So no, so he says this verse, Sukdev Goswami, Mukta nam api siddhana Narayana Parayana Sudurlava Prasantatma Koti Api Mahamuni. Muktana are those people who are liberated from the bodily consciousness, bodily conception. Siddhana are those people who have attained a spiritual body. But even among such people, Narayana Parayana is very rare. That's why it's been said, O great sage, among millions who are liberated and perfected in knowledge of liberation, one may be a devotee of Lord Narayan. Such a devotee who are fully peaceful are extremely sudurlava prasantatma. So to explain this, actually, Madhvacharya actually also says from Tantra Bhagavata, these two verses. Read the one of you. There are 90 millions. The translation of the words.
There are 90 million demigods and 70 million sages who are all called Narayana, devotees of Lord Narayan. Among them, only a few are called Narayana Parayana.
So then he says, Narayanaya Deva Rishaya Adyastat Parayana Brahmadaya Kechaneva Suyo Siddha Yogo Sukham Labham. Read it.
The difference between the Siddhas and the Narayana Parayanas is that direct devotees are called Narayana Parayanas, whereas those who perform various types of mystic yoga are called Siddhas.
Hmm. So even Siddhi, mystic yoga, but they may go to to go Vaikuntha. but they may not be Narayana Parayana. And so because they may get some kind of liberation over there. Um, so here then actually after saying that Sukdev Goswami actually and so it's been asked that how Sonaka Rishi is then they're asking that why is Sukdev Goswami, who's a liberated soul, is indifferent to is indifferent to everything. He took a great interest in Srimad Bhagavatam. So then this verse has been quoted, Atma Rama Sumuniyo. So how Atma Ram, like Sukdev Goswami, is also attracted by bhakti to Krishna. So then Jeev Goswami starts saying, no, he quotes Taittiriya Upanishad to explain, the Ananta Sukha, the Ananta Ananda, which is being experienced in the bhakti of the Lord, or the bhakti of Krishna, you know, is unimaginable. Even it's unimaginable even for a Sukhdev Goswami person, like liberated souls like Sukhdev Goswami, or muktas like Sukhdev Goswami. So then he says gradation of Ananda. The first level of Ananda is Manushyananda. And what are, who can get it, or what are the characteristics of this? The young and modern character, they read Vedas, active in karma, strongly built in body and physical strength. Whole world is under him, enjoys plenty pleasures in this world. But above than Manushyananda is Manushya Gandharva Ananda. Man who is Kshatriya by birth, has a specific karma and attain Gandharva Loka, sort of demigod in heaven, and enjoys heavenly musician enjoyment. Then Dev Gandharva Ananda, higher than the previous two, is this. Man is a Brahmana, well read in Vedas, conversant with absolute, attain post of Deva Gandharva and enjoys. Then Chiraloka or Pitraloka Ananda. Person is a Brahmana, established in absolute Brahman. No, given up the mundane desires, enjoys Pitra Loka Ananda. Then he says Deva Loka Ananda, Karma Deva Ananda, Deva Ananda means who gets that? Devas. 8 Vasus, 11 Rudras, 12 Adityas, Indras, Prajapatis. Indrananda, pleasure of Ananda. Indra. Brihaspati Ananda, spiritual master of Indra, what he gets the Ananda. Prajapati Ananda, the progenitors, what they get. Then he says Brahmananda, bliss of Brahman. But each of these, 11 what we have, read over here, has been said. Each stage is 100 times more than the previous one. Can you imagine? Means Manushyananda, which was the first, is multiplied into 100. Then he gets Gandharva Manushyananda. Then if Gandharva Manushyananda is multiplied into 100, then he may get the third level of Ananda. Like that, Brahmananda comes after the 10th one. When Prajapati Ananda into 100 is Brahmananda. Therefore, a common man, it is almost impossible to accept the depth and limit of Brahmananda. Therefore, human may attain different pleasures, but only a Brahma Jnani attains Brahmananda. And that's been said. And above to that, no, uh, above to that is Aishwarya Ananda, which is Vaikuntha Loka, where there is Aishwarya and Sukha. But Premarsha Ananda, which is in Goloka Vrindavan, is Vaikuntha Loka into 100 times. Aishwarya Ananda into 100 times is Premarsha Ananda, where absolutely zero desire for Sukha and Aishwarya is there. So that's how this one Radhashantu's, actually Prabhuji has written these gradation of Ananda very beautifully. It is not so well mentioned in the in the the commentary. Prabhuji has probably has gone to Taittiriya Upanishad to find that. So he has done a very hard work for us and made it to PPD. So okay, now Arjun Shastri, you can ask question. Because now we have to begin with the fourth chapter.
Yeah. I think you already answered some of it, but still, I think just correct. So when we say these four muktis, the devotees doesn't aspire for them, but then if we see like the devotees actually they're meant for devotees only. They're not meant for anybody else. So if somebody is not a devotee, he'll not even get it. So it is meant for them only.
Yeah.
And if in the same context, like if somebody who is becoming a devotee of even Vishnu, is he not even a pure devotee? I mean, he's
Even
also considered pure devotee, right? So if he's pure devotee, then how can he have desires?
pure devotee have no pure devotee has desire has gradations. These desires are not desires of like kind we call as a material desire. But one thing I want to say is very clearly, when you go higher and higher, surely like now somebody can say what is the difference between devotion of Yashoda and Radharani. At that if we start comparing over there, or we can figure it out. Yashoda, how she has that, you know, and because the kind of separation bhav that we hear in Radharani's case or Gopi's case is very high. It's very, very high. So now when you're talking to say in terms of that comparatively it is very good. So when we are saying about material desires, this sukha, that's why I said to you, this sukha may not be direct material sukha that he is looking for, or Aishwarya. He may have some amount of, it is unfathomable from our level of bhakti. But then it is like in giving sukh to the Lord, he is looking something for himself. That something is way different from what we look for. हमने थोड़ा सा सेवा किया, we look for appreciation also, we look for this also, we look for that also. We immediately start looking for some kind of a privilege also. Right now, as soon as some privileges, post comes, some privilege comes. We look for that privilege, and somebody says, no, no, no. Why you want to have that privilege? I'm doing that. I'm doing that seva, so I need that privilege. So it becomes very finer and finer, very finer and finer. We can't, from our level, we surely there's no material desire. Which material desire nobody can go. But one kind of material desire is allowed, sayujya. They merge into. But the Lord allows that. Okay, aa jao. But he doesn't want anything else. The sayujya person also, he doesn't want anything else. Only wants to become one with the Lord. Nothing else. He is he is Ekah Kuru Nandana. Very, very true. But in that Ekah Kuru Nandana, he has his own desire. We are Bahushakha. Right? The majority of us maybe, Bahushakha. No. सब जगह से आनंद चाहिए. तो वो थोड़ा अंतर है. मतलब we can't truly we can figure it out.
Hmm.
I hope
So
you.
for this, yeah, the first one is answered, Proji. For this Sayuja, this always remains a question. Like we say that no, you cannot, your individuality cannot be taken away. But
Yeah,
for
yeah.
Sayuja, we say it gets merged.
They merge, but they merge means they merge into body, but the individuality is intact. It is not that they will be lost, but they become because they want to merge into body because okay, you come into like like an insect comes and sits on the body. It doesn't merges, but is there in our body, but its individuality is maintained. Right.
Okay.
That,
Mhm.
that kind of definition has been given. Or Prabhupada also gives the definition of like a green parrot enters into a green tree, he appears to be lost, but he is not lost. His individuality is there.
Yeah, this I had heard for the Brahman
This
merging into
Brahmana,
Brahman.
yeah,
For
that
Sayuja, I had not
this
heard.
person for Sayuja, he is because Brahmananda, he has no understanding of conception of personality of God, but this person has a conception of personality, and he is fed up, fed up with all. He just wants shanti now. He gets into it. So he is greater than Brahmananda person because he has accepted the form of the Lord. So yogis who maybe have previously the conception of In the third canto, it comes Karma Mukti, who has a conception of the Lord to be impersonal. But to get mukti, they have to accept, they have to meditate on the form of the Lord. And some yogis, when they're meditating on the form of the Lord, oh no, they get attracted to that form. And some yogis who are foolish, Bhagavatam says they are foolish, they somehow drag away that form from their heart away after getting mukti, considering that form was as some imaginative conception of the impersonalism. So those yogis actually who get attracted to the form of the Lord, to the degree they will be attracted, to that degree they will rise above in their mukti path. No, if they understand, oh, the form is so good, I just want to merge into it and be sayujya. When the service will come, thoda sa seva bhavna will come, then salokya sarishti samikya. When sukha and aishwarya will be gone, no, nothing I want, no sukha and aishwarya from this I want, then he may go to, Goloka. I hope. No, it is.
Yes, Pradeep, yes. So one last question. Here, most of the time we say, I mean, you will land up, if you have desires for the opulence or something, you may land up in Vaikuntha. But I mean, I've heard the other version also where it says, you belongs to a particular place and you are destined to go there only. You will not be, I mean, you will not go somewhere else. So if somebody is belonging to Golok, he'll go to Golok only. You cannot actually, and if somebody is a devotee of Lord Ram, he'll go to that place only. I'm really happy, like Murari Gupta, he is a devotee of Lord Ram, so he cannot go anywhere else. So, but then how do we, I mean, this seems to be a little contradictory.
No, generally, this is a truth that a devotee actually, like for Hanumanji, it's also been said, Murari Gupta, you're quoting. So, Hanumanji, like person that they are fixed, they are not. But also, it's been said, actually, Vishnu Thakur says that that a person, if he has gone over there, like Gop Kumar is there, na, he grades above. And now, what is fixed is our Sarup. Surely now, actually, it's a debatable question because debatable question means what I'm saying. This question leads to the question for, Jiva fall, which I don't want to get into at all. No, well, that is not our syllabus. So there, a lot of thing has been said. Uh, so uh, actually, even if it's fixed, see, I want to just say something over here. Maybe okay, my position is to suppose a boy, he may be a millionaire son. So naturally, if he's one son, the post that is, he is supposed to acquire, that is fixed for him, is a post of, you know, the owner of a million dollar business. But if he doesn't qualifies for that, he may not be able to get it, or even if he gets it, he may lose that in the material world. That's may happen. So if a devote, because it is fixed, so naturally, majority then this is going to happen only that devotee will get a natural when he comes to the certain stage of bhakti, his Ishtadev, that what we say, as gets manifested, he does service to the Lord, and he may attain that and is completely. But still, it's been said that a devotee, if he wants, because he has come to this world, he has read something more, he has heard something more, he acquires that affection for the higher gradation. Lord does not say all to it. Now coming to the lower, the same way, he can accept the lower. It is not, love is not never forceful. So if somebody wants to change his love, it can't be said, nahi, तुम गोलोक के थे, गोलोक में ही आना पड़ेगा. नहीं नहीं, अभी था मैं, इधर आ गया, I became a I became a mundane conditioned soul. Nothing like that, by the way, has been said, that it is so hard and fast. If it's so hard and fast, that mm, looks to be a mechanical process. That's what I would say. You can ask some senior devotees. But what I am saying that if a person is a lower, he can go to higher if he has developed. No, that is so very clear. I think I'm quoting Vishnu Chakravarti.
Yes, yes, Prabhuji. Yeah, I remember once Keshwanand Bro was asking a similar question to Shamanand Bro, and but this was a different one where he said, like, I may be a tree in the spiritual world, but I don't want to become a tree. I wanted to become a calf or a friend. Then how will that be? So then Shamanand Bro, yeah, that is true then. So if you don't want to become that, you will not be. So that means you are not that actually. So
Yeah,
if you are, tree or something else, you are fully satisfied in that form. That's how you are there. Yeah.
yeah, right. Right. A bit if we scratch on this subject, we enter into that controversial subject. That's why I'm a bit fearful of.
Will not open that door.
Yeah. Yes.
Fine. Thank you.
Yes. Correct. Now we'll begin chapter 5. Is that okay? Yeah. Okay. So the chapter 5 talks about the purity of bhakti. So after being said that bhakti has to be devoid of personal liberation and bhukti and mukti, and specifically chapter 4 talks about has to be devoid of mukti also, and how the taste of the bhakti which arises in devotee heart and mukti anyhow it doesn't, even what we have thought about, even Vaikuntha he cannot, he doesn't, he may not like it. This is a Gaudiya Vaishnava Bhashya. So he will not look for Vaikuntha also. And so now when it is said purity of bhakti, it says that, oh, the bhakti, bhakti is so pure that no eligibility is required to take it up. Kirat, Munandra, Pulinda, Pulkasha, that shloka when it says anybody with whatever background he may be, he can take it up and reach to the highest destination. It is like the sun is so pure that no, that just I'm using a bad words over here. A gallon of urine, even if it's there, a room full of stool is still maybe there. Sun can purify it, evaporate it, made it into soil, the stool, but never gets himself impure. No matter how much the amount of that bad substance may be there. Same way bhakti. No matter how much the person is fallen, bhakti can uplift anybody and make him reach to the highest destination. That is the purity of bhakti. Now that has been discussed over here, and we'll open with Prabhupada books. No, we'll read the NOD over here and then we'll go ahead. Yeah. Yes, to start reading all the previous instruction.
Um, Anil Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Mm.
All the previous instruction imparted by Srila Rupa Goswami in his broad statement can be summarized thus. As long as one is materially inclined or desires of merging into the spiritual effulgence, one cannot enter into the realm of pure devotional service. Next, Rupa Goswami states that devotional service is transcendental to all material consideration, and that is not limited to any particular country, class, society, or circumstances. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, devotional service is transcendental and has no cause. Devotional service is executed without any hope for gain, and it cannot be checked by any material circumstances. It is open for all, without any distinction, and it is the constitutional occupation of the living entity.
Yeah, so here that's what's been said. That no, it doesn't require any qualification to take up bhakti. And we are talking about, we are talking about, Shuddha Bhakti. Huh? No qualification. You know, those who possess some faith and is devoid for desires for material enjoyment and liberation are qualified for pure bhakti. Uh, and in general bhakti, samanya bhakti, one can take it up. No, even without these, no, some amount of faith he might have, or which might have got from some previous, yeah, his, bhakti unmukh sukruti, and he meets a devotee, and a devotee adds his bhakti to him, gives his bhakti to him, and one gives means uh, tells about Krishna to him, adds some more devotional, devotional uh, intent into it, content into his in his bhakti unmukh sukruti, and awards him bhakti. That's what happens. There is nothing, no material, yeah, there's no material qualifications or disqualifications for having or for getting or not getting bhakti. And eventually the person has his desires, becomes purified, and his faith gets more, he enters into pure bhakti. So one has to, so proper, that's why it said him over here that all the previous instruction which is imparted, you know, can be summarized. As long as one is materially inclined or desirous of material, one cannot enter into the realm of pure devotional service. But Rup Goswami states that devotional service is transcendental to all material consideration, and that it is not limited to any country, society, class, circumstances, or that. Any person of any country, any gender, any society, any class, and in any circumstance, one can take up bhakti. It is not that, uh, and as stated, the proper that's been said. So it has no cause. Devotional service is transcendental, has no cause. Devotional service is executed without any hope for gain. So now here, pure devotional service is executed without any hope for gain, and it cannot be checked by any material circumstances. So when it's been said that when Prabhupada has quoted that is not because Prabhupada is quoting, I'll show the verse to you. You are able to see this verse, Prabhu? Qualification for Vaidhi sadhana is open to everyone.
Yes, Prabhuji, we are able to see.
So recite this verse after me. Shastrartha shruyate bhakto
शास्त्रार्थ श्रूयते भक्तो
निर्मात्र से अधिकारिता
सर्वाधिकृष्टि अधिकारिस्त
सर्वाधिकारितं माघ
सर्वाधिकारिस्थं माघा
सन्ना सन्नासय रुवत यतः
सन्नानस्य भूवतायतः
दृष्टान्तिता वसिष्ठेन
दृष्टान्तिता वसिष्ठेन
हरिभक्तिर नृपं प्रति.
हरिभक्तेन पंपति. I can read more. We hear from Shastra that every human being is eligible for bhakti. Vachishta says just as everyone is qualified to bath in January, everyone is qualified for Hari Bhakti.
Yeah, no, amazing, huh? Somebody may say, "Arey, why you using the word, qualifying to bathe in January? Is anybody been said that in Kumbh Mela you can't go and bathe in January in Prayagraj? None of us. But do you agree that faithful people will only go and bathe in Prayagraj, in Kumbh Mela in January? Right, na? Right, na? Do you understand this, what I am saying? Haripal, anybody yes or no? Kuch to bolo.
Yes, yes, Pratik.
Yes, Prabhuji.
No, no. So same way it is. Bhakti is open for everyone. But yeah, who will take it? No, who has some shraddha. Or general bhakti, also some shraddha is required. And that Shraddha is not the Shraddha which is similar to the Shraddha required for pure devotional service. Because that Shraddha may be, Laukik Shraddha, something like that, which might have got from somewhere, from Agyas, previous Bhakti Agyas Sukriti. So, with him having said, now Prabhupada actually talks about, he brings this point. He comes over here and says that anybody can take bath in January month, and Prabhupada then quotes, he brings his point very emphatically over here that, there are some caste Goswamis, they say they have started saying to be Nityananda Vamsha, and they are saying that devotional service only belongs to people who are in Nityananda Vamsha, and they can only preach. Nobody else can preach. So then Prabhupada starts quoting, how Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, refuted this by taking, what all he did to refute this. And it is very important to understand. Read this. In this way,
they exercised their artificial power for some time, until Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, the powerful Acharya of the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, completely smashed their idea. There was a great hard struggle for some time, but it has turned out successfully. And it is now correctly and practically established that devotional service is not restricted to a particular class of men. Besides that, anyone who is engaged in devotional service is already at the status of being a high class Brahmana. So Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, his struggle for this movement has come out successful.
so in actually, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he did a lot of, work on this. He actually made it in the year probably in 1911. Yeah, 1911. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he took up a challenge against these pseudo Vaishnavas, and claimed that birth in their caste was not the prerequisite. Is not a prerequisite for preaching Krishna consciousness or practicing Krishna consciousness, because this caste conscious Brahmana community, they were outraged. Actually, when Bhaktivinoda Thakur, you know, you know, he gave a scriptural proof that everybody, regardless of birth, could become a Brahmana, Vaishnava. They were very much outraged. So then, and they out to prove that inferiority of the Vaishnavas, they arranged a discussion, these fellows, and they called Bhaktivinoda Thakur. But somehow Bhaktivinoda Thakur was very ill. And that time Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur was just a, very young boy kind of a thing. Then, but he was not able to go Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So then Siddhanta Saraswati, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur wrote an essay. An essay, the topic of the essay was the conclusive difference between Brahmana and the Vaishnava. And he showed it to his father, Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Although Bhaktivinoda Thakur was very ill, but he read that. And he was very happy to see the arguments presented by Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur in that. So he was very happy with that. So, so then Siddhanta Saraswati, Ajit Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he went to that place in Midnapur, where the Panditas from all of India had gathered. There was a 3-day discussion. And there were smart Panditas over there, who spoke, they spoke first, and they claimed that how a person is born in a Shudra family, Yavana family, even though initiated by a spiritual master, could never become purified and cannot perform the Brahminical duties of worshipping deity or initiating disciples. So, some of them were also against them practicing bhakti, and some of them were surely against, practicing these angas of bhakti, of deity worship, archana, and initiating or preaching. But finally, Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he got the chance and he delivered his speech. And you might have heard the story. First, he spoke the glories of Brahmanas, glorifying. He was speaking from Vedas, glorifying Brahmanas, and smart scholars were very much pleased. Oh, probably he's talking our point only. Very good. Go ahead, go ahead. And then Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati took a turn and took a turn from his speech, and he conclusively proved from the scripture that if one is born as a Shudra, But if he exhibits the Brahminical quality, he should be honored as a Brahmana, despite his birth. And if one is born in a Brahmana family but acts like a Shudra, he's not a Brahmana. And after this speech, Siddham Bhakti Saraswati was congratulated by the president of that conference, and and the and he was and that is how Vaishnavism became victorious. And that is how we are allowed to do deity worship and to preach. If Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati would have not done, on that time, it was very tough even to propagate Krishna consciousness and to come to this point that we are able to and we are able to preach also to Archana also and all those. So so the chapter 3 and 4 which we read, Prabhu, that was eligibility for devotional service. And eligibility was that a little attraction to serve the Lord, is the eligibility for getting to devotional service. And now the chapter 5, which we are talking, is saying about bhakti is not dependent on any above prerequisites. Bhakti is independent and is self-sufficient. It doesn't require any pious birth, any performance for the Vedic duties. That is why now this whole chapter, majority portion of the chapter is about how bhakti is independent of janma, pious birth, and how bhakti is independent of Vedic dharma. These are the two concepts which has been thoroughly been discussed by Rupa Goswami and our Srila Prabhupada in his book of Nectar of Devotion. So so we are getting into it, and this is why the beginning is like this. So devotional service is self-sufficient. When you say self-sufficient, we have to know the other processes, how they are not self-sufficient. So Jnana Yoga needs what is the prerequisite for accepting Jnana Yoga Park? One has to be peaceful, need of peaceful, renounced disposition is required, and highly developed intellect. Then you can take up to Jnana Yoga. Ashtanga Yoga, prerequisite that one should be a sannyasi, renounced order. Karma Kanda, the prerequisite is that uh, that you should be able to do yajna. Should you be able to do the yajna very properly according to time, place, and you should have ingredients very proper, and it should be flawlessly, the mantra has to be spoken. That's that karma kanda requires prerequisite. Bhakti, this is the only process, is the only method which is completely free from dependence on any external prerequisite. You are a human, you're going to take up to bhakti. Or what to say, but we have example even of non-humans also. So anybody can take up to bhakti. That's what has been said there. So that is why the chapter Prabhupada mentions this chapter as the purity of bhakti. So so now over here we'll read ahead what Prabhupada says about in his next paragraph about this point. Now it is on this position. Read that. We read that whole, but read this. It is on this
I
basis.
can continue.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It is on the basis of his position that anyone can now become a Gaudiya Vaishnava from any part of the world or any part of the universe. Anyone who is a pure Vaishnava is situated transcendentally, and therefore the highest qualification in the material world, namely to be in the mode of goodness, has already been achieved by such a person. Our Krishna consciousness movement in the Western world is based on the above mentioned propositions of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada, our spiritual master. On his authority, we are claiming members from all sections of the Western countries. The so-called Brahmanas claim that one who is not born into Brahmana family cannot receive the sacred thread and cannot become a high-grade Vaishnava. But we do not accept such a theory because it is supported by Rupa Goswami, nor
Not
by the strength,
because it is not supported by Rupa Goswami.
because it is not supported by the Rupa Goswami, nor by the strength of the various scriptures.
Yeah, that's what has been said. So Prabhupada, is very clear that that anybody who has taken up to bhakti, he has already qualified himself. The highest qualification material is the mode of goodness. And, now, question may come. We have also taken to devotional life, but it doesn't seems to be that we have come to goodness. Yeah, we might not have come to goodness. That is truth. Um, or I would say, we might not have come to goodness, but the qualification, what, that's a mercy case. Like, like the Luna can't go above 40 kilometer, but a helicopter can take it up to 200 kilometer also per hour speed if he just, catapults it. Same way we have been catapulted, you know. We have been catapulted, although we might not have that, we have been catapulted by the mercy of the Guru Parampara and we've been allowed, to practice. So, in that way, we have got that. But we have to know this is the mercy of the Guru Parampara that has made us qualified. And anybody who foolishly, does not understand that or rejects the mercy of the Guru Parampara, the instructions which is coming in the Guru Parampara, foolishly, getting just for going nectar shopping from here and there, doing that. Hey, he is back to Punah Mushtika Bhava. No, that's also one thing that can be, very proper to be understood. Right? And Prabhupada is saying that anybody can become, a Brahmana, a Vaishnava Brahmana, and Vaishnava Brahmana is far higher than a normal Brahmana. So, but somehow these when devotees are not very properly connected to the Guru Parampara's, siksha, and they don't keep the humble disposition of understanding that they are met by the mercy of the Guru Parampara. So then actually they start thinking, they may start thinking that yeah, what the scripture says has some basis. No, not the scriptures. What people say has some basis. No, that's a uh, it's good to think about one own self that I am not so great, but to say about others and to start say that oh, he's a Western Vaishnava, what he knows. We are Indian Vaishnavas. We know culture. What they know culture. And we'll come to the point of Vedic. When somebody has accepted pure bhakti, Shuddha bhakti, marg, no such talk should happen. Whatever we may see a leash of those problems uh, which may be arising from the birth, is not a big problem. There's nothing to be talked about, nothing to be discussed about. It has to be overlooked. That is why, and if you open Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is very open, it is very clear. You know, the person has accepted to chant Hare Krishna, is faithful, Krishna has understood and accepts theoretically at least Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. All other things, okay, they may be, but we don't have to take it seriously. That those things, those deficit that may be in a devotee, and one should not come to these conclusions. I One is also truth that somebody from a pious, from a Brahminical background, he takes up to bhakti, he may go up to very high speed. He may or may not also. Both kind of examples we can see in Krishna consciousness movement. A person who may be very low, born in a very low family, may take it up to very high. Maybe born in a very high family, but take it in a very slow way. So there is nothing like that to be, discussed. So now here read ahead, Prabhu. Srila Rupa Goswami specifically mentions. Another devotee can read.
Aniruddha Prabhu.
Yes. Srila Rupa Goswami specifically mentions herein that every man has the birthright to accept devotional service and to become Krishna conscious. He has given many evidences from many scriptures, and he has especially quoted one passage from Padma Puran, wherein the sage Vashishta tells King Dilepa,
Yeah, yeah.
My
So
dear
what?
king,
Wait. I'll no. So here it said it's a birthright. You know, we have na, something in birthright. We say, a birthright hai. That I've been born in this family, so I will acquire the property of the. The same way, the birthright. The birthright of every living being is bhakti, and we should remember there's a birthright, and we should access that birthright. You know, as people are so eager to access their birthright, which is related to their body. So then now King Dilip, I'll show you what he quotes. It's a very good verse. Yes, he says that. Uh, yeah, he says this one. Sarve adhikarino hayatra hari bhakto yatha nripa. O king, everyone is qualified for Hari Bhakti, just as everyone is qualified for bathing the Ganges in January. So read what has been there. Everyone is disqualified. Everyone is qualified.
everyone is qualified to bathe in the cold water in January, but few will do so because the discomfort poses difficulty. Similarly, although it may be difficult to operate without motive for for bhukti or mukti, everyone is qualified to do so and practice Vedi sadhana of Uttama Bhakti.
So one has to know that uh, that's what we talked about. I have already explained to you. Uh, See, means giving a bhukti and mukti means bhukti means sense enjoyment. Mukti means looking for liberation. That is in our hand. You know, that is in our hand means, you know, we have to be ready. We have to be ready to give it up, uh, and keep on performing bhakti. We'll be out from one day from those things. So, because we are qualified, and that's what I said. Anybody is qualified to practice Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. Surely he is not, we are not saying that anybody is qualified to perform Bhava Bhakti or Prema Bhakti. Or even Vaidhi Raganuga Bhakti. Everyone is qualified to do so and practice Vaidhi Sadhana of Uttam Bhakti. I hope you remember the basic. Huh? Uttam Bhakti has is divided into three. Vaidhi Bhakti, Bhava Bhakti, and Prema Bhakti. And Vaidhi Bhakti, there are two, Sadhana Bhakti and Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti is one, and second is a Vaidhi Raganuga. No, so so same has been now. So everybody is allowed for qualified for Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti means devotional service, which has been practiced according to regulative principles. Everybody is qualified for it. It's not that. Then the next verse has been quoted by Prabhupada also from Skanda Puran, Kashi Khanda. This is a verse which has been quoted. Antyaja apitad rastre sankha chakrank dharinah samprapya vaishnavam vim diksham dikshita iva sambhuva. Read that in Kashi Khand. Kashi, what is it? Please read this highlighted one.
In Mayurdhwaja's kingdom, even the low caste people receive Vaishnava Diksha, mark themselves with the symbols of Vishnu, and become elevated.
Yeah. So no, this is the quotation. This is a quote given by Rupa Goswami to prove that, see, in Skanda Puran, it is written, right now, that in sometimes in Mayurdhwaj kingdom, the history is quoting, that even low caste people, means Shudras, Antyaja, Antyaja, the word also given Vaishnava initiation. And actually Vaishnava initiation means, Sankha Chakra Dharina, means the symbol of Sankha and Chakra is made over the body as we put in our 12 tilakas right now. It's very important uh, to put these 12 markings tilak right now. That's the meaning of also being accepting diksha or accepting the parampara. So here has been said, अरे it is written मयूर ध्वज के kingdom में अंत्यज को भी दीक्षा मिला था और आप बोल रहे हो, ये नित्यानंद वंश वाले बोल रहे हैं कि नहीं मिल सकता. This is wrong. So this is not to be properly. This is not proper. So then this is two has been quoted over here. So in the country known as Mayur. So then proper writes this. Does a Vaishnava automatically? Please read.
Santara bro, should I continue?
Yeah, continue, Prue. You can. Okay.
Thus, a Vaishnava automatically becomes a Brahmana. This idea is also supported by Sanatan Goswami in his book Hari Bhakti Vilas, which is the Vaishnava Guide. Therein, he has clearly stated that any person who is properly initiated into the Vaishnava cult cu- certainly becomes a Brahmana, as much as as much as the metal known as Kamsa, bell metal, is turned into gold by the mixture of mercury. A bona fide spiritual master, under the guidance of authorities, can turn anyone into Vaishnava cult so that naturally he may come to the topmost position of a Brahmana.
Yeah. So here.
Srila,
Okay. Read. Srila Rupa Goswami.
Srila Rupa Goswami warns, however, that if a person is properly initiated by a bona fide spiritual master, he should not think that simply by the acceptance of such initiation, his business is then finished. One still has to follow the rules and regulations very carefully. If after accepting the spiritual master and being initiated, one does not follow the rules and regulations of devotional service, then he is again fallen. One must be very vigilant to remember that he is the part and parcel of the transcendental body of Krishna, and he that it is his duty as part and parcel to give service to the whole or Krishna. If we do not render service to Krishna, then again we fall down.
In other words,
Uh,
simply
in
becoming.
other words, in other words, simply becoming initiated does not elevate one to the position of a high class Brahmana. One has to discharge the duties and follow the regulative principles very rigidly.
So that's what Prabhupada is saying. That that is true that anybody who's initiated, becomes a Brahmana, yeah, but it doesn't mean that now, okay, now I've become Brahmana, so I don't have to. And then that is kind of conception of the caste Brahmanas. Now they said they consider to be as Brahmanas because they are just being born in a Brahmana family. So mm, uh, the conception is same over here, that if somebody feels, I have been now initiated, so second birth I have got it. Now I have got a birth, so I am a Brahmana now. I follow the rules, regulations or not, it doesn't matter. No. Till the point you follow the rules and regulations, till that time we are a Brahmana. You know, if you fallen, because Brahma karma swabhavajam, you know, in a karma and swabhav, one has to be a Brahmana. No? So means what? And what is that Brahma karma? The first Brahma, the karma and swabhav is that one should follow the rules and regulations as being prescribed to us by our spiritual master. That's the first karma and swabhav. One should be obedient to the spiritual master, should be swabhav, and his karma should be to do what his spiritual master has told. So for us, 16 round, 4 regular principle is the basic, right? No? Not that is some, I've got initiated Hari Bol. So that's why many devotees we see them speaking. Initiation is to initiate the process. Initiation doesn't mean you have to finish the process of devotional service. There's no finishing in the process of devotional service. And that's why Prabhupada said no more cheap initiations. Uh, because when he saw that when he gave initiation, the next day only, the devotees were missing, and one fellow became again hippie, you know. So Prabhupada then said, no more cheap initiation. That is the time he made the policy. 6 months or something was the policy that one who has been in devotee association for 6 months and practicing, he'll be allowed initiation. 6 months or something, 1 year, I don't. 6 months probably. So later on, it was reformed and made something more also. So one has to be very, till the point, and uh, uh, surely that has been said, over here has been said. I'll show you what he says about. Uh, uh, that's what's been said, that one who is qualified for bhakti is at fault if he or she neglects to perform the part of sadhana. That's what Prabhupada is mentioning over here in terms of initiation. But is not at a fault if he or she neglects to perform karma. Karma means Vedic, Varna ashram karmas, dharma, that is called karma over here. If you neglect the part of sadhana given by the guru, then it is then the person who's qualified for bhakti is at fault. So that is very clear that one should not be, but if he does not follow the Vedic karma, that's fine. That's if he neglects that, that's not considered to be a problem. That's not considered a fault. But fault is if you give up the part of the sadhana. So with the if we are initiated and we are not able to practice 16 round 4 regs, oh my Lord, it's a very problematic thing. Then we have fallen. That's what has been said. Uh, uh, so over here, then it's been said also that see, it's been said that just initiation, from and from the guru is not sufficient. One has to also, carefully, perform the sadhana, means follow the rules and regulations rigidly, perform the angas of bhakti indispensably, such as observing Ekadashi, Janmashtami, and God Purnima and all such. Otherwise, uh, if we are not doing these things, one is considered to be fallen, or will fall down back again. But if one is not able to do, it doesn't mean that one should neglect the Varna and Ashram duty. I'm not saying. But if one is not able to do his Varna and Ashram duty, is failing to perform, he is not considered fallen. So, so this verse is a very important verse, and we'll end with this verse. There has been said, Nisiddhacharato daiva prayaschittan tanto nochitam iti Vaishnava shastrana rahasyam tad vidam matam. Read what has been written, if by chance.
If by chance one qualified for Vaidhi sadhana performs some forbidden karma, there is no need of formal reformation. This is the opinion of those who understand the mysteries of Vaishnava scripture.
Yeah. So if by chance a devotee falls, in terms of fall into some nisiddha achara, accidental fall down, nisiddha achara, he is not. That's why the shloka, the famous shloka, been quoted. Api sutsaro duracharo bhajate ma ananyava. Sadhu reva samantavyo. Now he has to be considered sadhu if it's an accidental, because he quickly takes up back again, uh, his vows of performing pure devotional service. He is sadhu. But if somebody, you know, uh, actually, the accidental fall down is not considered as a fall down. But if somebody purposefully is not following the sadhana, is not able to practice, purposefully means he's not able to complete 16 round 4, he's not following 4 regs, many times he's going like that, not following, observing Ekadashi, Janmashtami, all these festivals, he is considered fallen. So this is very important. And also over here has been said that a person who has done Nishiddha Achara, because of accident, because of some reasons, accident to fall down, maybe accidentally he got into some sensual thing or maybe something like that, it's been said, Vaishnava Shastra says that he doesn't has to go for any prayaschitta. His prayaschitta is what? Is to take up the bhakti back again. He doesn't have to go to do some yajna. Oh, I did that pap and let me now counteract with somebody, some karma kanda. No, no prayaschitta. His prayaschitta is what? Bhakti. He takes it up to bhakti. No, there is no repentance, no other formal acts of repentance. So I end over here. You have any questions you can ask. We'll end up this chapter in the next week. Any questions for you?
Ji, one question. Mostly things are clear only, but still for confirmation purpose, I just asked this question, Prabhu. It is okay?
Yeah, yeah.
So you told one point, Prabhu, that regarding Nityananda Vamsha, that Nityananda Vamsha told that whoever born in our family, only those will be allowed for the devotional service.
And
And you told one point,
preaching and
preaching and
devotional service in terms of
devotional service
archana.
also, no, Prabhu?
Devotional service in terms of archana.
Archana, okay. So, and second point, you told that everybody is qualified for devotional service. Anybody can do, either belongs to any caste, creed, or something. And everybody will allowed, but based on the faith they have, they will do the devotional service.
Yeah, yes.
So it is not that everyone have get a chance they will do. That is not. That is depend on their mood actually, not any we can say
Yeah.
mandatory for them.
Yes, temple is open for everyone. Radha Vrindavan Chandra darshan is open for everyone. But who will come to take his darshan?
Yes, Prabhu. So my point, the question is this, Prabhu. So Nityananda Vamsha, whatever they are telling also the same thing, no? That everyone should not be allowed for devotional service. Only those people should be allowed. Those are qualified, and they can come in our temple or they can come our Vamsha, and then they can be do the devotional service. So their Vamsha means only to our my generation, or they consider Vamsha as a whole family who can do the devotional service and qualification required.
Generation.
Only generation they are telling.
Yeah. This is only generation that they are saying.
Thank you.
When bhakti has been said, it is open for everyone. They are not saying it's open for everyone. No. Don't equate it with the faith wala part. It's very different, and they are too more restricted. Only who have taken birth. We are saying anybody can take it up, and anybody can get that faith. It's not that it is a hard and fast rule. Bhakti is open. Anyhow, anything more to end over here? Fine. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you.